Hello everyone, we recently finished our 50 states road trip in our 2013 Ford Transit Connect micro camper van that we built out ourselves. We're here to answer one of probably the most asked questions regarding our travels and our van itself, which is, how do we go to the bathroom?
As I'm sure you can tell, this space is quite limited and we didn't have space to put in a designated bathroom, not a composting toilet, anything like that, nothing fixed. So we have had to rely on public bathrooms at Walmarts, gas stations, campsites, things like that to handle our business for the most part.
Think of you going on any type of road trip. There's always ample amounts of places that you can stop in, whether it's a rest stop or any of those places that Mike just mentioned, that you're gonna find a bathroom. The tricky part is at night. If you're boondocking somewhere in, say, a Walmart parking lot or a Cracker Barrel and don't have access to a bathroom, then it gets down to the wire and you may need some of these products. First and foremost, the most used, that might be a little awkward, but definitely my favorite of the bathroom accessories is the portable urinal. And we keep all of this in an easy to reach spot underneath the bed, so that way even when it is in bed mode, we can grab them out to go to the bathroom.
We have enough space in here to use them and then safely store them until we can properly dispose of them. It's never an ideal situation, but in emergencies, we haven't ever had an issue with it. If you ever get into this situation, it's better to have them and not need them to not have them and desperately want them.
Yeah. This is the portable urinal, aka the pee jug. That's what we call it. So a lot of micro camper vans do have some sort of jug where you could relieve yourself if you do have to go pee. But this has been a real lifesaver, especially for me. I think I've been the one who needs to pee in the middle of the night a lot more frequently than Mike. The nice thing about it is that it does come with an attachment. So anybody who has to sit to pee, it makes life a whole lot easier with this attachment. After you go to the bathroom, there's this nice handy little cap. They can close it all in, and then we put it in the little footwell area until we can dispose of it properly and safely the next day. Oftentimes in porta potties or rest stops where we can just carry it in and dump it in the toilet and flush it like you would any other waste. And again, this is really for if you're stuck in a parking lot and don't really have any options, because if you're boondocking and there's no bathrooms, you can just nature pee. But yes, definitely comes in handy under the fluorescent lights of a parking lot.
Yes. While we have gotten use out of our portable urinal, when handling number twos, we have something that we haven't used, but it's always in our loadout because, again, if we get to a place where we need it and don't have it, I think we would be pretty upset. So we do have a pop-up toilet that has trash bags that you can put in to make sure everything is clean and sanitary. But this is an absolute emergencies only type of amenity.
Yeah.
This is something that is really nice and packable, so it doesn't take up a lot of space in the van.
It's about 2 inches, maybe 3 inches tall when it's packed down.
Yeah, but it pops up into a toilet that is able to be used for that purpose, and it's, again, something we've never had to pull out and make use of, but I'm glad that we have it in the case of an emergency, because that would be something I would not want to actually deal with.
Pivoting back to more of the bathroom amenities for people who sit to pee, I also have a couple things that come in handy. This is more for like hiking, if you're on a really long trail and you gotta go, or nature peeing as well if you're at a boondocking site, to be able to have these make it a little bit easier, especially at night when you can't really see what you're doing in the first place. The first thing is called a Go Girl. It says, don't take life sitting down. Essentially what it is a packable pee funnel, and it packs down into this little tube, so it doesn't take up very much space in your camping bag or your hiking bag, so that's why I always put it in there. And yeah, it just makes it a lot easier to be able to control the situation. Another really helpful thing is called the Kula cloth. A lot of people also use bandanas, but this is specifically designed to be antimicrobial. I can't say that word.
So antimicrobial.
Yes.
And it's also something that you can throw into a washing machine and clean up and use again.
Yeah, so it's essentially just a reusable cloth, so that way you're not littering with toilet paper or having to really worry about where you're going to put the toilet paper after you're done with it. So this really comes in handy. There's a printed side, and then there's the side that you use, so when you're done with it, you kind of just fold it up and put it back together. And then you can attach it to your bag or just shove it back in, and you're good to go.
As we've said before, in terms of how we view the van, it really kind of is a tent on wheels with a little bit nicer bed and storage and stuff like that. But a lot of the equipment that we use in our van is similar to camping equipment. That's generally where we pull from for the types of things that we use. So camping supplies are always a great thing to be able to pack in the van, and that's where a lot of this comes from, especially for using the bathroom outdoors. We also have a very small packable shovel that we can dig pit toilets with. This is something that we've used when we're boondocking out in the middle of nowhere. We use all of these in different ways, but it's not our primary means of using the bathroom while we're on the road. Even though we don't have a designated toilet, we almost are always able to find a public area to use. And I think we've only had a few times where we've needed to use any of these designated items for that.
But I will say, for as little space as they actually take up, I'm glad that we have them. Just again, for peace of mind, is so incredibly important to know that you have these options if you're ever in this situation.
Moving away from the toilet situation, we'll talk about showering, cleanliness, hygiene, and again, this is something that we rely on public spaces for. One thing that we saw a lot of people doing in the van life sphere was utilizing gym memberships to use their showers. So we have a Planet Fitness membership that allows us to use any Planet Fitness in the country, and we rarely go to work out, but we go in quite regularly to use their showers, which are nice, clean, and a place to actually be able to get washed and cleaned up from being on the road.
Technically, we only have one Planet Fitness membership. Mike has it, and it's the black membership. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, and then it allows you to bring a guest, so I'm the guest.
But for $20 a month, both Heather and I are able to have unlimited access to Planet Fitnesses across the country.
Including in Alaska.
Yeah, we found a couple in Alaska. In terms of the cost, for $20 a month, that's really about 3 showers, because the average price of showers at truck stops or YMCAs
or even campgrounds that charge.
Yeah, it has been anywhere from a couple bucks all the way up to $7. So with just going a few times, we're able to cover that membership cost.
Now, when there aren't any Planet Fitnesses in our direct vicinity, we do have to resort to other means to be able to remain hygienic, I guess. The number one and the easiest is baby wipes, makeup wipes. So we pretty much wipe down with those every night and every morning when we don't have the option to shower. And they just kind of live in our, what do you call that, shoe rack area?
Yeah, storage shelf thing.
But when we are out in the middle of nowhere boondocking, we do have another really great option for showering, and that's on the outside of the van, so let's get out and show you.
When we first started our van life journey, we had a rinse kit that we kept inside the van. It was a couple gallons, but for as little as we used it, it took up a lot of space. So we looked for alternatives that we could move to the outside of the van, and we landed on the Yakima Road shower, which is what we have up here. It is a 4-gallon pressurized shower that is solar heated, so you don't have to do anything. You just have to fill it with water, and then the sun will heat it up during the day. It becomes warm enough to use, and you can take a shower with it. We haven't used it an awful lot, but when we've been boondocking in the middle of nowhere, it's a great option when we're not around other people to be able to shower and get cleaned up when there aren't facilities or Planet Fitnesses nearby.
Worst case scenario, we can use it just in our bathing suits, but for the full experience, definitely want to make sure we're in the middle of nowhere for that.
It's a thing that we haven't used as much as we maybe thought we would, but I'm glad that we have it for the moments when we need it. And also having it on the exterior of the van is great, because since it doesn't take up any space, having it is sort of a luxury, but it's one that we can afford because it's up top and we can just load up the roof rack with as much as it can hold. So this just hooks up into these clamps up here, and there's some Velcro to hold it tight so it's safe driving down the road with it. But it just comes across here. Make sure the water's on, and you can get showered off. So it's pressurized, it's warm if you've been driving in the sun, but this has been great. And again, having it on the roof is such a better option than the rinse kit, which was taking up space inside the van.
So we hope that this little bathroom and shower tour was enlightening for you, and if any of you are thinking about small camper vans and how you're gonna make it work without a bathroom, don't worry, you will. There's plenty of real bathrooms, and with all the supplies, you'll be totally fine.
I will say being proactive is definitely a thing to keep in mind. Whenever there's a bathroom or a shower, we always take advantage of it. Yeah, don't pass it up, don't miss it. But if you do, there are definitely ways to make it work, even in a tiny van like ours. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments, but we hope to see you in the next one.
I'm living my best life. I wake